So the Bundesliga season has been wrapped up, but we've still got the DFB Pokal final. I mean, technically there is a relegation playoff game, which shouldn't be ignored, by the way. It's Heidenheim take on Elversberg. Yeah, that's a small town with a population of less than 13,000, and somehow they've managed to finish third in the Zweite Bundesliga, in the second Bundesliga, and are 2 games away from ending up in the Bundesliga. Now that is mental. Anyway, you came here for a profile and a prediction for the DFB Pokal final, which in itself is also full of drama and a fairy tale story because it features VfB Stuttgart. They finished, quick check here, they finished 9th in the Bundesliga this season, but they're up against ARMINIA Bielefeld of Liga 3 of the Zweite Bundesliga. This, honestly, it's got an upset written all over it. Now let's take Stuttgart's journey first. So I'll build up to the climax because it stick around. It's worth it. Trust me. This game, by the way, is taking place on Saturday. So this Saturday coming, the 24th of May. The final's being played in Berlin, as it has done at the Berlin Olympic Stadion since 1985. Yep, kicks off 8 o'clock in the evening. We're going to do a live watch-along. So come and bring everybody in. Bring your friends, your classmates, your workmates, your family. Everybody where you're out and about and in with a shout. You know, make sure that A, you smash that like button, B, you subscribe, because then you'll know when that watch along's ready, and then C, yeah, bring everybody in, spread the word. Anyway, right, so this game's taking place on Saturday. Now, let's look at Stuttgart. Like I say, they're finished 9th in the Bundesliga this season. Pretty disappointing, to be honest. This is the squad. This is where the goals have come from this season. Emarain Demirovic, I recall he bagged a hat-trick in an away game with Bochum. Bochum ultimately relegated. At that point, I think they went on to rack up 6 consecutive losses, and that was one of them. Anyway, also up front is Nick Voltemade. We're a big fan of Voltemade, and we'll come on to that soon. Goals also have come from Dennis Undav. My English viewers or just viewers of the Premier League in general will be aware of Dennis Undav because he used to be up front or a striking option for Brighton and Hove Albion down on the southeast coast. And then you've got Enzo Milo, the Frenchman. Apparently he's rumoured to be moving on, which I find disturbing because, again, similar to Frankfurt, the Adler, SGE, this is a very young Stuttgart team with a lot of potential to go a long way next season. Don't forget, in the Invincible season, Invincible for Bayer Leverkusen, Xabi Alonso, Florian Wirtz, Jonathan Tah, Alex Garcia and co, Stuttgart finished 2nd and ended up in the Champions League. To go from 2nd in Champions League football, finishing 9th in the Bundesliga, but have a final, and actually you do end up in Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it's the Conference League, might be the Europa League. I'll have to put an overlay up to fact check that. I wish I'd known that one before I started. Anyway, the winners end up in European football next season. So actually, it's very similar, and if you're a regular viewer to this channel, you'll know where this segue is going. In the video description box down below, you can find our preview and a wild prediction for the all-English banged up Brits abroad, the all-English Europa League final taking place today between Tottenham, come on you Spurs, and Manchester United of the Theatre of Memes. Yeah, you can find that video in the description down below. The point I make about that is that the winner of either that game will end up in the Champions League next season. This tournament, this DFB Pokal, I'm pretty sure it's the Conference League. Anyway, that's where the goals are coming. Even 3 goals from Big Jeff Chabot. Now, if Nicolas Soulé is a double fridge, Jeff Chabot's he's more of a single fridge. It's Meghead. Anyway, 3 goals from the centre-back. This is how the season played out for Stuttgart. You can see their fixtures. There was the run-in to the end of the season. Look at that. 3 wins on the spin, which turned around a bit of a stuttering season for Stuttgart. A very appropriate piece of phonetics there. Yeah, 3 wins on the spin. That was the end of their season. This is their cup run, by the way. This is their route to the DFB Pokal final. As you can see there, look, a nice convincing 5-0 win. It's always, I always find that a nice relaxing way into the season when you're playing, maybe you're playing a game like EAFC, maybe you're playing Football Manager. If you do a save in Germany, you always start with the DFB Pokal first and then your first league game. In England, in the Premier League, just in English football, with the Carabao Cup. We're big fans of the Carabao Cup, the old D-list energy drink. One day, we can be your partner. You play a league game or a couple of league games first, and then you go into the first round. In Germany, it's the other way around. You start the season with a DFB Pokal. So bearing in mind, for a lot of these teams, as you can see here, people like ARMINIA Bielefeld and Stuttgart, the season started, that's mid-August. Wow, okay. Anyway, so 5-0 win over Pression Munster. Then Kaiserslautern. Don't forget, Kaiserslautern got to the final last year. They were beaten narrowly by BAYER Leverkusen as part of their domestic double winning season. Then Stuttgart beat Regensburg, who were in the running at one point in the Zweite Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2 for a potential promotion place. Then they beat Augsburg in the quarter-final. In the semi-final, they put Leipzig to the sword. That actually was Zolt Löhr. That was the temporary manager of Leipzig. That was his first game. Didn't quite go according to plan, did it? And then, obviously, they've made the final on Saturday in Berlin with Arminia Bielefeld. Let's just go through some interesting stories that link to the various clubs. So this is Florian Plettenberg. We trust him with all our transfer news. He's a Sky reporter for Sky.de. Covers transfer news, covers FC Bayern, covers Die Mannschaft, the national team. Here we are, look, Julian Nagelsmann, former FC Bayern Munich manager, by the way. He's only 35, isn't he? Looks good in the jacket. Julian Nagelsmann is considering calling up Nick Voltemade for the first time. The 23-year-old striker has been fantastic. He's been a fantastic, he's just been fantastic in general. Fantastic. It's been a fantastic addition to the VfB Stuttgart this season. Scored 16 goals and provided 3 assists and 19 goal involvements from the lanky striker. FC Bayern are keeping an eye on him. And by the way, again, if you're a regular viewer, you can go back and you can clip one of my previous videos where I did call this out. We do consistently call out the fact that he would be an ideal foil for Harry of the Kane up front for FC Bayern Munich. Watch this space. It won't happen this summer. Most likely summer 26 or going into the 26-27 season. I can see Nick Voltemade playing up front in an FC Bayern Munich shirt. Again, you can clip that. Here he is. Look, there is Nick Voltemade. 1m98, so 6'5". German under-21 international. They are. Look, he's played 13 times, scored 7 goals. I'm pretty sure he scored a hat-trick in his last outing against Spain. Let's have a look at that just for confirmation. Position, he was playing as a centre forward. There you go. Yeah, hat-trick against Spain under 21s. And again, just confirmation of this Bundesliga season: 28 appearances, 12 goals, 2 assists, and in the Pokal he scored in every single. Well, he scored 4 in 4. Potentially, that's a goal in every single round. And 1 assist. Nick Voltemade there. Is he on his way to FC Bayern? You know the drill, people. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And here you are, scouted. This is a post on X because, of course, we still use that. Nick Voltemade is different. He's gangly. He's 6'6". He's a centre forward that likes to show and spin, drift out left, and bring others into play. And we like to bring others into play. So please, if you can find it in your heart to smash that like button, hit the subscribe, tell your friends. Yeah, bring all your friends. Bring your classmates, your workmates, your family. When you're out and about and in with a shout, Bring them all in because everyone's welcome here. It's a safe space. Real men cry too. Nick Voltemada likes to bring others into play and puts himself about in the box. A bit like, and this is why I brought this up, by the way, a bit like a less refined, bit J, a bit like a less refined version of Hugo Ekitike. And again, you probably saw that one coming. Link in the description box down below where we dropped a video because there's a lot of transfer rumour about Hugo Ekitike, former PSG wonderkid striker. Is he on his way to the Premier League to a team like Arsenal? He's done well this season. Off the top of my dome, it's something like 32? No, I think it was 36 goal involvements in 43-ish games, something like that. 15 goals for sure, in the Bundesliga, along with a bag 6, 7, 8 assists. So yeah, it was 22 goal involvements in the Bundesliga. Is he heading to Arsenal? Let me know in the comment section down below if you want to see the other, more refined version. See, I've turned it around. Let me know if you want to see the more refined version of Nick Voltemada at Arsenal next season. Yeah. And there you go. Here's a great photo. Now, I've shown this because there's some absolute ballers there. Look. Maxi Middlestat. I believe that is that Karazar? It's not Furyk anyway. There's Jamie Llewellyn. I forgot who that is. And there's Fritzl. That's the only reason I put it on the screen, really. He's the crocodile. It's the mascot. Crocodile Rock. I'm sure they're missing a trick. PA announcer, if you're out there. PA announcer for VfB. Stick on Elton John. Stick on Crocodile Rock when the players come out, or at least at half time. Because you can get him dancing. And he'll get the kids dancing. He'll get the right buzz going. All there in the Necker Stadion. Should play a bit of Crocodile Rock. Anyway, and of course, everyone's tuning in to see if Angelo Stiller will indeed be playing in that final. He did limp off injured, didn't he, recently against Augsburg. Didn't last very long in that game. What, lasted 15, 16 minutes? Anyway, we're all hoping and praying that he plays because he scored an absolute, as Alan Partridge would say, twat. It was an absolute shit pinger in the semi-final against Leipzig. Yeah, right foot volley from a corner. Check that out on Ask Jeeves. Go recreate it down the park. It was a shit pinger of a goal from Angelo Stiller. Still no relation to Ben. Let's hope he makes the final. Anyway, here we are. We're getting to their opponents. So the opponents for Stuttgart are Arminia Bielefeld. This is where they finished. Look at that. They were promoted. Let's get the champagne, the bunting. Let's get on that bus parade. Arminia Bielefeld. Right, so final of the DFB Pokal. 90 minutes away from European competition. And a double winning season. Actually, I think I read somewhere there was a triple because they were playing in the final of a regionally cup final, right? So it could be a triple threat, a triple winning season for Bielefeld. Anyway, for sure, DFB Pokal final, 90 minutes away from Europe, 90 minutes away from glory. A fairy tale, be the first team ever from their lower leagues to end up getting to a final and winning it. And here, look, promoted from the Dritte Bundesliga to the Zweite Bundesliga. So we may well see, if he ends up going to one of these games, Ryan from Rice Football Paradise, we might well be seeing him at a Bochum home game where they take on Arminia Bielefeld. That would be something we love to see. You love to see it. And here we are, look, there's confirmation of their champion is ole, ole, ole. Arminia Bielefeld champions. There are some great photos here, look. It's covered by their Argentina fan base. That is mind-blowing in itself, isn't it? There are, look, there's the trophy. There they go, winning it. Some great photos there, look. Yeah, you get them champers out, mate. Or is that's more champagne? That's unusual. You'd have thought, as a working class club, there'd be the old Pauliner, right? Or some, what's the other option? Oh, not Pauliner. Oh, come on. I've been thinking about it all morning. Erdinger, that's the other one. The old turkey teeth. Jurgen Klopp likes a bit of it. Stop! Never skim an Erdinger. That went slightly more not not Sylvester McCoy. He was Doctor Who, wasn't he, back in the 90s when I was a kid. That went slightly more Sean Connery. Stop! Never skim an Erdinger. Now it's gone Dutch. Now it's gone crazy town. Talking of Dutch Pool. Are we going to see the likes of Frimpong? I did read yesterday, and again, you've got to be careful what you read, right? Be careful what you read online, unless it comes from Bing. But we like to use Ask Jeeves. I read that Jeremy Frimpong might have turned his back on Liverpool, and he might be going elsewhere. He might be going elsewhere in the Premier League. Bizarre. Anyway, let me know if you've got any thoughts, any comments, any leads on that one. If Frimpong is actually going to turn his back on Liverpool after all that noise he's made. Anyway, these are the guys that have got champagne, whereas it should be a Vice beer, right? But anyway, fuck it. They've won. They can celebrate as much as they want. The crowd are loving that one. Yeah, congratulations again to ARMINIA Bielefeld for your promotion to the Zweite Bundesliga. This is where the goals have come from this season for ARMINIA Bielefeld. 14 from their striker, Julian Canier. 8 from the American. We've got, United States of American representative. I'm sure that Zealand will enjoy that. Male Korbos, what a great name, Male Korbos. Marius Verl, I know for a fact that he scored a few in the cup run. I'm pretty sure. Confirm that, yeah. He scored 3 goals in their run to the DFB Pokal final. Goals have also come from Joel Gradowski, Noah, anyone called Noah gets our vote. Noah Saren Ren Dadu Ron Bazi, what a great name. Saren Ren Bazi. Yeah, he's got a bright future, hasn't he? Oh, he's 28, so, well, in life. Not necessarily in the football terms, but because he's in his peak, isn't he? He's in his peak, bruv. Let's not get too distracted anyway by the shinies. Right, and then I just wanted to call out Louis Oppie. Right, Louis Oppie, by the way, he's the defender, 23 years of age. He scored 5 goals this season from centre-back. 3 in the Zweite Bundesliga, 3 in their promotion campaign, or championship winning campaign, and 2 key goals in their DFB Pokal run-in. Here's Julian Canier, look, market estimated value of 400k. Can they do? I mean, they're not confirmed as gone up yet, but can you imagine an SC Elversberg with less than 13,000 population and ARMINIA Bielefeld ultimately in the Bundesliga? Oh, you'd love to see that, wouldn't you? That's the stuff of Football Manager, that one. Anyway, there is Julian Canier. 14 goals in 34 games in the Zweite Bundesliga, in their domestic championship winning campaign. 14 goals and 1 assist, proving that he's not as selfish as you might think. And then in the cup, just the 1 goal, but then again, he's only played 3 out of the 5-6 games that they've competed in. This was their season, by the way. ARMINIA Bielefeld, this was their championship winning season. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 wins at the last 8. Who does that remind you of? BVB reminds me of Dortmund under Niko Kovac. Secured Champions League from absolute nowhere, right? In March, they were in 11th. Ironically, fittingly, in March, Dortmund were below ARMINIA Bielefeld's opponent in the DFB Pokal football, Stuttgart, in March. And there's a great visualisation of this I saw on X the other day. In March, Dortmund were below Stuttgart, dead and buried. May, end of season, last day, they beat Kiel. Frankfurt, SGE, Eintracht managed to beat Freiburg, and as a result of that, Dortmund finished 4th, and they ended the season with 7 wins out of 8 and 1 draw. That draw was in the Klassiker at the Allianz against FC Bayern, and these guys have done the same. 7 wins out of the last 8, a draw with Dynamo Dresden. That is pretty damn cool. And a cup final. What a season they're going to be having. And here's their route to the final. So, Hannover 96, fucking hell, they've got mental fans. Big fan base. They should be up in the Bundesliga proper with the likes of FC Köln. Shout out to FC Köln. After a year hiatus, they're back in the Bundesliga as champions, by the way, and that all happened on the last day of the season. Now, don't tell me, people out there, that, you know, the French league is a farmers' league. You go tell that to Luis Enrique in the final of the Champions League with a greater chance as any as beating Inter to become European Cup, or whatever they call it, Champions League winners. But then even in the Bundesliga, there was drama on the last day, wasn't there? In that Mainz game versus Leverkusen, where Mainz had 3 goals disallowed in the first 33 minutes. And Leverkusen held on for a 2-2 draw to set that record of 34 games unbeaten away from home, which spread over 2 seasons. And then this, in the Zweite Bundesliga, look at this. Absolutely mental. Last day of the season, Cole ended up going up as champions. Second place went to Hamburger Sportsverein, Hamburg. And then third place is currently Elversberg. And they, coming from a town of less than 13,000, have a chance of making it into the Bundesliga. Wow, what a season we're having. Anyway, Hannover 96, big crowd, but Arminia Bielefeld did them. And then here was their giant killing, right? So Arminia Bielefeld, they beat Union Berlin 2-0, and you think, okay, yeah, could see it, because Union Berlin in their journey, they were a Regionalliga team once upon a time. Then they beat Freiburg, you know, the guys from the Black Forest, 3-1. Then you're thinking, okay, right, there are some giant killings in this one. And then they beat Werder Bremen. Sorry, Nico. Oh, yeah, that was a tough week for Werder Bremen. In the same week, Werder had lost 5-0 away from home in the Black Forest to Freiburg. Ouch. And then on the following Tuesday, they were dumped out of the DFB Pokal by the minnows of Arminia Bielefeld, so not the best week. And then talking to people not having great weeks, in the semi-final, Arminia Bielefeld, and we did a video on that, by the way. We didn't predict that one, though. Arminia Bielefeld turned over last season's invincible domestic Bundesliga winners and last season's winners, the holders. Arminia Bielefeld knocked out the holders of the DFB Pokal. 2-1 sounds like it was close. It was far from close. Arminia were all over them. And again, I just wanted to bring this up to everyone's attention. This is from One Football. Again, we'd love to be your partners at one point in time. Third tier side, Arminia Bielefeld have knocked out Bayer Leverkusen to book a spot in the DFB Pokal final. Shocked emoji. That same week, effectively, Leverkusen conceded the Bundesliga title to Munich. So it wasn't the best week. And also, I recall around about that same time in history, well, in the same week, Bayern Munich knocked them out of the Champions League too. So that was a bit of a rough patch for Xabi Alonso. Anyway. Whew. So, just a quick sit rep, as Pieface would say. The final, DFB Pokal finals, this Saturday is taking place between Liga 3 side, Zweite Bundesliga side, Arminia Bielefeld, who will be playing football in Bundesliga 2 in the Zweite Bundesliga next season, versus VfB Stuttgart. VfB Stuttgart, former winners, or former Bundesliga winners. They've played in Europe, they've won European competitions in the past, finished 9th in the Bundesliga season this year, but are in the final. Whoever wins this plays in Europe next season. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let's take a look at the socials, because they're always fun. Yeah, look, we pick up with VfB Stuttgart Internationals X post. Look at this. Hashtag Monday Motivation. And they are, look, the car's packed. They're on the way to Berlin. There's Fritzl, isn't it? There's Fritzl. There's old Crocodile Rock. We love that guy. Love to see it. All those fans there, Stuttgart fans, travelling with hope and expectation, probably thinking, we've done this. It's only Bielefeld. We'll walk this one. Be careful, because a few teams said that before you, and look how that ended up. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 Bundesliga scalps. Just be careful. And anyway, there's a quote here. Look, from Maxi Mittelstadt, the left back. Is he going to be recalled to Julian Nagelsmann UEFA Nations League team? Here's a quote from Maxi Mittelstadt. As a little boy, I often dreamed of playing in the final at this stadium, the Berlin Olympic Stadion. It's fantastic. That's Italian. It's fantastic. I won't do the voices. It's fantastic that my dream is coming true. I'll obviously do all I can to make it a successful final for VfB. Maxi Mittelstadt looking a lot. And this is what Gonzo's just reminded me. Isn't he looking a lot like Aaron Ramsey? He's looking a lot like former Arsenal legend and FA Cup winner 3 times. Aaron Ramsey. And here we go. Look, this was brilliant. Right? This is Arminia Bielefeld have some giant support, some real giant support ahead of the German Cup final. The 54-metre tall Hermann Memorial in the region has been fitted out with a team shirt. The club have won promotion to the second division. The Zweite Bundesliga eliminated 4 teams from the Bundesliga on the way to the final. And this is... it's just fantastic. Fantastic. There he is. Look, that's a fucking big shirt, isn't it? That's a big shirt. And I'm calling that out because... And we did a video on this, by the way, and I will link that in the description down below. Here he is, look. Armenia, the football team, well, just the town in general, derives its name from the Cherushan chieftain Arminius, who defeated a Roman army in the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest. Very haunted, the Teutoburg Forest. Anyway, there you are. So a guy that fought against the Romans, and now his colours and his heart are definitely with Bielefeld. And this is a post in support from their brethren, from Hamburger Sportsverein, from Hamburg, Arminia Bielefeld. I'm just going to do the translation, but yeah, promoted to the Zweite Bundesliga. We congratulate our friends from the East Westphalia region and are already keeping our fingers crossed for the cup final. Brilliant. You love to see that. Love to see some solidarity. And then this is fascinating, right? So, again, as it stands then, they're from Liga 3, right? So, Bielefeld, currently champions of Liga 3, going up to the Zweite Bundesliga. But here we go. Look, there could be 2 third division clubs playing against each other in the Europa League. Thank you for the confirmation. So it is Europa League next season. Both Arminia Bielefeld of Germany and Biel Bien from Switzerland have reached their cup finals and could qualify for Europe if they beat their opponents, Stuttgart and Basel, respectively. Wow. And just confirmation, this is Biel Bien from Switzerland. They've got one more game to go in the Swiss Swiss Liga 3. They're playing a team called Paradiso. Well, that reminds me of a bar down in Benidorm. Not Uncle Ped's. Can't wait to go to Uncle Ped's. This is the lower reaches or third division of Swiss football. Here they are, look. FC Biel-Bien 1896. Played 33. 19 wins, 5 draws, 9 defeats, 63 goals scored, 62 points. So they need some favours going into that last day of the season. But yeah, FC Biel-Bien playing FC Paradiso with a chance to make it up into the second tier of Swiss football. But they're also in that final, aren't they? They're in a final against FC Basel. And who do we know that's iconic that plays for FC Basel? It's Xhaka, not Granite, not ex-Arsenal, and there he is in his Arsenal top look. Not Granit Xhaka, but his slightly older brother, Tautlan Xhaka. What a great name, by the way. Tautlan Xhaka, 34 years of age, assuming Albanian nationality. Yeah, he'll be playing against Biel Bien. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. That's 1st of June, that final, so that's a few weeks out, to see if indeed there is any credence, or if this comes true. This is an absolute fairy tale anyway, but Biel Bien, yeah, if they could make it to the second division or second tier Swiss football and beat Basel, do you know what? There's a lot of parallels between the two. And talking of the global appeal of football, check this one out. We're not the only ones looking forward to the DFB Cup final. Our fans are too. And there's a viewing party in Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio. Look, if you are in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's 2 p.m. your local time, get yourself down to the Casual Pint in Youngstown, Ohio, and celebrate, well, just enjoy. You might not be celebrating, you might be commiserating, but enjoy the party atmosphere of the DFB Pokal final in Ohio. If I was in Ohio, I'd absolutely be going down for a casual pint in Youngstown. Ohio, not to be confused with Noah, Ohio. Always thinking. Who did previously play for Hull City. Yeah, in a Hull City team under Liam Roseneveer that finished up being 1 point. 1 point, one singular point off the playoffs. That was not last season, the season before. And he was unceremoniously shit-canned. He went over to France, to Strasbourg, and it's fucking worked miracles. Yeah, well done. Clap that in, Liam Roseneveer. Anyway, one of his strikers in that squad was Noah Ohio, who did score the equaliser in a home game, the last home game of that season, against Ipswich, in a game where Kieran McKenna was whacking the little hut that they sit in because he couldn't believe that they conceded such a late goal. Fantastic player. Anyway, I really liked him, Noah Ohio. He is 1m83. He's only 22. He's playing in the Eredivisie, so he's a high standard. Eredivisie, played for FC 20, 23 appearances, 5 goals, no assists, as greedy as they come. But he is, crucially, he's an under 21 for the Netherlands, which is brilliant. In fact, for the Netherlands, look at that. He's scoring every other game, scoring 1 in 2. He's a goal machine. Anyway, yeah. So you can drink and celebrate in actual Ohio while thinking about Noah Ohio, once of Hull City. And then just to round this all off, because men cried too, but the women were crying tears of joy as well. The Frauens, they pulled off the double this season. Cue that ticker tape effect. Yeah, the Frauen of FC Bayern won both the Meisterschale and the cup final against Werder Bremen, winning it 4-2. So yeah, big shout out, because men cry too, but the women are winners. Women are absolute ballers. Anyway, who's going to win this one then? Coming Saturday, are we going to see a fairy tale? Not only in Switzerland but also in Germany. Are we going to see Bielefeld, Liga 3 champions, but just focus on the Liga 3 because it makes the fairy tale sound better clickbait material? Are we going to see Liga 3 side upset the 5th team from the Bundesliga, win that trophy? It's a beautiful trophy as well. It looks quite dense in weight. Are they going to lift that trophy and end up in the Europa League? Or is it going to be Stuttgart? Is it going to be Fritzl the crocodile, doing his crocodile rock at full time? You know the drill, people. Drop your predictions down below. Our predictions coming on the screen now. And Gonzo, he's going 3-2 Stuttgart. I like that because that's the same prediction that we put forward for the all-English, Brits banged up abroad, all-English Europa League final, where we've gone 3-2 for Manchester United against Tottenham. We're going 3-2 win for Stuttgart. Bielefeld, yeah. It's been a great season for you. You've got promoted. Your big Arminia statue's got that big shirt. We just think it's Stuttgart. Yeah, Stuttgart have to salvage something from the season. So yeah, what do you think? Let us know your thoughts and your predictions down in the comment section below. And thank you as ever. Thanks for giving up your time if you made it this far in the video. Thanks for investing in us. Again, we are on the road to 100 subscribers. We're late 70s, so we need a bit of a push going into this DFB Pokal final. So have a think about it, but don't think too long. Smash that like, subscribe as well, and tell your friends, tell your classmates, your workmates, your family, while you're out and about and in with a shout. Spread the word, get them all down. It's a safe space. Men cry too. Get involved, interact with our watch along for this DFB Pokal final on Saturday. We can't wait, we're excited, but again, thank you for giving up your time. We've enjoyed this one. Ciao, ciao, ciao for now. Ciao, ciao.